Good morning. My question is, how can I experience joy constantly in my life?
Well, we don't want to burst your bubble. But we want to say, rather than asking for constant joy, if you would instead ask to be more often pointed in the direction of it, then you would be more likely to achieve that constant state of joy. But there's something about saying, I want a constant state of joy, that sets you up for failure. And it doesn't provide the flexibility that your guidance system allows. In other words, instead of saying, I want a constant state of joy, instead say, I want to most often be aware of which direction in the stream I'm pointing. And if I'm aware of which way is downstream and which way feels good and which way is upstream and which way feels harder, and I'm willing to let go of whatever issue it is that's got me pointed upstream, I'm willing to soften my approach to it to allow myself to turn in the stream, then in time you won't even ask such a question because you'll be feeling so wonderful. That joy that you're asking for is really a relative term. And by that we mean, if something has happened and you are feeling despair about it, joy, hear this, is an irrational request. Irrational and unnecessary because to you in your despair, rage or revenge or anger is going to be as sweet as the joy could be if you were up there in appreciation already. In other words, you have to understand, it's sort of like you get into a very hot bathtub and at first you can't bear it, but as you settle into it, then it begins to feel just right. Or you dive into a very cold pool and at first you think you can't bear it, but then your body sort of adjusts to it. That's that relativity that we want you to hear about. And so if we were to say to you, not only do you have the potential for always feeling joy, but it is your responsibility to always feel joy, we would defeat your entire guidance system and we would defeat the reason that you are here in this diverse environment wanting to sift through it in order to come to conclusions. In other words, you watch someone, a child or an adult, who has decided that they're going to be perfect in every way. They have the most limited life of anyone that you know because they can't take risks, because they can't afford to fail. And so they become more and more cloistered. They get around fewer and fewer people. Their life becomes more and more narrow, and they feel less and less free. So we want to say freedom, the freedom which is what you're really reaching for. Freedom is the ability to acknowledge that wherever I am is all right and that it can improve. Ooh, how about that?
Yes.
Wherever I am is all right and it can get better. That's the goal we want you to shoot for in your physical body. Wherever I am is all right and getting better. There's no ending to how life can please you when you're turned in direction of that which you truly are, you see. You have so much more capacity for joy than we have words to describe it. Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. And we think those are the best words anyone has ever said. But sometimes you can't get a whiff of bliss from where you are. So if you have been told to follow your bliss and bliss is not on your radar screen anywhere, then you might feel lost. Where if you say, I'm going to point in the direction of bliss, and right now I'm going to take the breath of fresh air that revenge gives me.
Okay.
Now you're moving in the direction of, you see.
Okay.
Because what happens when you say, I want joy, and what have I got? Anger. Oh man, I'm so bad. I need to listen to more tapes. I can't. And we say, now you've turned upstream again. Where when you say, I want to find joy and I can't find joy, but aggravated assault feels pretty good. You get the sense of what we're talking about.
Yes, very much. Yes, thank you so much. I did get the whole message.
Yes, you did.
Thank you.
Would it be appropriate to tell about Kate's experience at school, Kate watching the little children all being free and how they're all taking care of themselves?
Tell it.
No, I wanted you to, if you feel up to it.
Oh, you love children's stories, don't you?
I like to hear them from you, especially. Yeah.
Jerry and Esther received a phone call from daughter Tracy, who has gone to Kate's new school. It's a Montessori school. And Tracy is watching the children. And they are little children. Some of them are 3, some of them are 4, some of them are 5. But they are all utterly independent. And they are helping themselves to their own lunch. Little children with little tongs putting their own sandwich together and picking what they're wanting to eat and spreading their own mayonnaise on their own bread and then cutting it in half with their own knife, even though they're very little. And no one is rushing to say, don't you need help? They are being allowed to find their own ability. And then they are washing their dishes. They are cleaning up and they're moving from place to place. And so someone said to Kate, Kate, what are you doing at school? And Kate says, whatever we want. And adults would say, well, how can there be learning in that? And we say, because life is evoking the desire to know. And left to be free in an environment when you want to know, when you have not been trained into resistance that keeps you from knowing, the expansiveness of a free-flowing mind is unlimited. When you come to the place that you understand that the way life has been established, where the contrast leads you by desire, and that then the desire calls you forward, you understand you don't have to be trained or coached or coerced or taught. Some aspect of it you are wanting to add to that?
No, thank you.
Now what? When your life causes you to ask for something, and it does all day, every day, you just can't live in this diverse experience without your ideas of what would improve your experience within it happening. As those rockets of desires emanate from you vibrationally, the non-physical part of you rides those rockets, you might say, literally becomes the vibrational essence of what you're asking for. For example, if you are not feeling so good in your body, maybe you're tired or sick, in that exposure to that experience, you, whether you speak it or not, automatically emanate a desire for more stability, for more physical well-being, for more clarity, for more stamina, for more feeling of well-being. And when that emanates from you vibrationally, the non-physical part of you embraces it completely, sees it, knows it, understands it, and bees it, becomes it. Now, this may not feel so meaningful to you because you are a bit separated in your physical humanness from the creation of all things. But we want to remind you that everything is first a thought, and the more it is thought upon, the more it becomes thought form, and eventually it becomes manifestation. So everything you see in your physical world is at its basis thought energy, source energy. So when we say to you that your life causes you to ask for something and that the non-physical part of you becomes it immediately, that should be extremely meaningful to you because it is the beginning of the creation of anything that you could possibly ask for. We'd like you to understand that so completely that we've written a book about it that says, ask and it is given. And everything you need to know really is in the title of the book. Ask and it is given. Well, we wanted a little longer title, but the publisher was a little obstinate about it. The title would have been better to have said, so as non-physical energy, I come forth into this physical body. And as I live in this physical body, I see all of the variety. And from the variety, I come to new conclusions, which the non-physical part of me immediately becomes. Not only answers, but immediately becomes. And then calls me toward forevermore. Too long? So did you get the sense of this new and improved title? I am non-physical. I come into physical. In my physical form, I ask for more. And when I ask, not only is it given, but the non-physical part of me embraces it, embodies it, becomes the vibrational equivalent of what I am asking for. And that non-physical energy stream then calls you forevermore forward into what you have become. So when you feel positive emotion, that means that you are going with the flow of that which you have become. It means the manifestation of that which you are asking for is about to open up to you. It means you are on the brink of the experiencing in full manifestation. When you feel negative emotion, it means you're not going with that flow. And we really want you to get the sense of this flow. We want you to understand that this flow is literally about this eternal nature of that which we all are. We are non-physical energy. You are non-physical energy. We are non-physical energy. Some of this non-physical energy expresses in the physical format. That's where you come in. In the physical format, you live through life experience. You give birth to new desires. When you give birth to the new desire, source energy becomes that new desire, and is that new desire so completely that law of attraction begins answering that desire that you have become. Are you getting the sense of this? Are you getting the sense that this flow of life, this stream, is caused because law of attraction is responding to the desire of that which is you, and that which is you is source energy and then physical beingness, but not one or the other, always both. Source energy and physical beingness that becomes more. Source energy embraces it first, calls you to it, and when you go, that's what allowing is. Step 1 says ask, and your life causes you to do that all day, every day. Step 2 says source will answer, and not only does source answer what you are asking for, but source becomes the physical essence before it manifests. Thought always precedes form. So this is important to you because it helps you to understand that your life has caused you to evolve. And the larger part of you has followed that evolution easily. And when you, with the thoughts you think, follow that evolution easily too, you feel passion, you feel eagerness, you feel love, you feel exhilaration, you feel joy, you feel the alignment of you with you. But when you feel frustration or worse, when you feel anger or worse, when you feel hate or worse, when you feel fear, or worse, when you feel despair, when you feel those negative emotions, that means you are focused upon something that has you activating a vibration that is preventing you from going with the flow of that which you really are. And we want you to get a sense of this flow. Source energy is calling you toward that which your life has caused all of us to become. It's an eternal cycle of evolution. So you could say that the contrast that many of you would like to get rid of, if you could, is really the stuff that gives birth to your rockets of desire. So it's really the stuff that puts the eternalness in eternity. If it were not for that variety from which you choose, from which you conclude, from which you prefer, then there would not be the expanse that there is. Which leads us to another very important thing to remind you that many of you have forgotten. And that is that you are here in your physical body on the leading edge of creation. You said, I'll go forth and I'll choose from what's there. And I will come together with others. And in our co-creation, we will come to experiences and ideas that have never been before unto all of the universe. And from those new experiences will evolve new ideas of desire. And the source energy part of you said, yes. And when you figure it out, in terms of your living of life, we will go there where you have pointed. And we will be it so completely that you will feel our calling if you will listen. So you have this emotional guidance system within you that, if you are listening, lets you know whether you're going with the flow or not. And we want to point out to you that it's a flow that you go with. It's not a place that you go and be. It's a flow you go with. It's an eternal flow. It's not something that you decide that you want and you set a goal for, and then you figure out how to get there and you move to it and now you're done, because you're never done. It's an eternal flow.